Hello, welcome back. Today we have a prediction video, getting ahead of the schedule here. Strickland versus Hernandez, about to go over the whole card, all the prelims, main card, all that. But before we do that, I just want to say Happy Valentine's Day. Not to you, but to my girlfriend. All right, I'm making a video on Valentine's Day. Got to incorporate her somehow, or whatever the right word for that is. You know what I'm trying to say? Incorporate or whatever. Um, but yeah, I just did all the research I needed to do this card. And, I have concluded all my predictions. I'm going to tell you exactly how it's going to go and, sort of why it's going to go that way. First fight of the card, we have Juliana Killer Miller versus Carly Judice. You know, Starting the card off with a bang, as they could say. I saw Juliana Miller fight in Iowa. That was pretty sick. My friend Christian got a selfie with her, you know what I'm saying? Listen, there was some tension there. Let's be real here. Like, she didn't want to admit it, feel it. Listen, it is what it is. It could just be me. But anyway, let's get down to the nitty gritty in here. This is what I wrote down. As much as I love Juliana Miller, for real, I don't see her grappling making a crazy difference here, and Carly just might have too much motion going into this fight, especially her back-to-back KO and TKO. And this fight was actually rescheduled originally from last year on February 13th or 15th or something. But let's be real here. Unfortunately, Juliana Miller's grappling's not going to be able to do enough to, make Carly Judice, like, not, I guess, for lack of a better term, respect her and to, like, not want to, or to be more cautious with their shots. Dude, she's a minus 650 favorite. Juliana Miller's a plus 420. I'm not saying Juliana couldn't do it. This is really, I'm basically saying that because, listen, let's be real here. My prediction is I'm going to go Carly Judice winning by second or third round TKO. Or it goes to a finish because Juliana just grits through. Like, that's really it here. But Carly Judice is actually, like, a problem. Let's be real here. In women's flyweight or whatever. But yeah, she's a minus 650 favorite. We let the odds speak, sort of, around here, depending on the matchup when you look at it. I think they have it right on the dot. Unfortunately for Juliana, I think she's just going to lose. But that's it for the first one. Second fight of the night, we have Jordan Levitt versus Yadier Devalle. And I was doing research on these guys, bro. And I'm very... not obviously we know Jordan Levitt, blah, blah, blah. But Yadier Devalle, bro, he's grappling heavy. His boxing's aight. For being from Puerto Rico, I thought his boxing would be a little better at least or whatever. But he's a minus 340 favorite. Jordan Levitt's at plus 255. Obviously, this is a featherweight bout, but this is what I wrote down. I got Yadier Devalle by sub, round 2 or 3. Going to be a war, but Devalle's takedown defense could make the difference. Jordan might have the slightly better striking, but it doesn't really seem to have the power to back it up for a KO. It's going to be a scrap for sure. I'm very excited for this fight. Yadier Devalle, I was doing research, watching him fight and stuff, and he just had me entertained. His grappling was really good. I saw one fight, he just went straight into like a body triangle and was just trying to work the rear naked the whole time. It's not the most entertaining thing, but come on, it's Jordan Levitt. Like I could see him getting into that position, but I don't know. Jordan Levitt's grappling and takedown defense is pretty decent, so I could see him like kind of stopping that a little bit or making it less of a threat, if that makes sense. But yeah, I got Devalle by rounds 2 or 3 sub. Unless somehow Jordan just outboxes him and makes it clear that, Yadier's boxing needs some work. But I'm going Yadier by second or third round sub, like I said. Next fight, Philip Rowe versus Jean Paul Lebos Noyani. Philip Rowe plus 165 underdog. Jean Paul 195 favorite. This is all I wrote down. Round 1 sub most likely, but could find the KO. Unfortunately, Philip might not stand a chance. Yeah, that's all I wrote down for that fight. Obviously, it's a welterweight fight. Yeah, that's really all I have for that one. I did my research, and I just see that Jean Paul only just gets, if I'm not mistaken, not only gets first round finishes, but he only gets finishes or gets KO'd. Let me actually run back to Tapology real quick. Yeah, he had his last fight. Head kick into a right hook, round 1. Fight before that, triangle choke. Fight before that, decision. Fight before that, punches to ground strikes. Before that, he lost by referee stoppage, round two. Before that, scarf hold arm lock, round one. Before that, triangle choke, round one. Before that, Richard Santos guillotine choke, round one. Before that, he lost 2 punches. Before that, he lost a rear naked choke. Before that, round one sub. Before that, round one TKO. Before that, round one sub. Dude, Philip Bro doesn't stand a chance. Let's be real here, bro. Unless he somehow just vets his way into a decision, I just don't see that happening. But yeah, I'm going Gene Paul round one destruction, basically. That's really it for that one. That one's going to be entertaining. You should definitely look into that one. Next fight, we have a welterweight fight. Ramiz Brahimaj versus Punahele Soriano. Yes. This fight's going to be decent. Their last three, they're both coming off three win streaks. Ramiz is coming off 2 subs and 1 KO. And Punahele is coming off 2 decisions and 1 KO. That's just a fun fact. This is what I wrote down. Both coming off 3 wins. This is either Ramirez sub or decision, or somehow Punahele gets the decision. He only really has a chance to get a KO, but it's not likely. Yeah, that's all I wrote down for that one. I don't really know either of these two guys. So this is kind of like my. I think I've heard of them, or maybe seen them in a fight where I just didn't really pay attention or really care. But this is I guess my first take of genuinely going out of my way to research and watch them. So these guys are now on my roster or whatever. Not roster, but in my mind or whatever. Yeah, I'm going Ramiz Brahimaj by sub or decision somehow. I don't know what round he's gonna get the sub in, but if he gets it, that's what it's gonna be. Next fight, we have a 135 women's fight, and I actually am gonna break out the Magic 8 Ball for this one. Jocelyn Edwards versus Nora Corolle. I don't know if she's Hispanic or not, but Jocelyn Edwards is a -310 favorite. Nora is a +230 underdog. Her last four for Nora, she has 1 sub, 1 TKO, and 2 decision losses. It is what it is. For Jocelyn Edwards, her last four is a 3-1. She has 2 KOs, 1 sub, and 1 loss to Eileen Perez, who is actually doing something in the bantamweight division. Bantamweight is just so hollow, bro, to where it's just like I'm not even. Bro, I'll bring this up every time. Myra Bueno Silva went from fighting, first of all, Raquel Pennington for the 135 belt to going all the way to like opening a card or going to like the early prelims or something. Like not even, I think literally in her next fight or like next 2 fights. Like it's just like, bro, like that's why I'm breaking out the Magic 8 Ball, bro. I don't care. But this is what I wrote down. Nora beat Jocelyn by decision a little over 2 years ago, but right now Jocelyn is looking more dangerous, and I'm going her by decision because their first fight did end in decision too, where Nora won. I didn't rewatch it. I'm not rewatching that, but let's ask the Magic 8 Ball. Will Jocelyn Edwards pull off the decision in the rematch against Nora Corolle to continue her streak and be 4-1 in her last 5? It says don't count on it, bruh. I would not be surprised if Nora Corolle just spoils the show. The universe has spoken. But I'm still going to go with Jocelyn Edwards just because of the momentum, motion, whatever, same shit that she's coming into the fight with. But yeah, but listen, the 8 Ball spoke. The 8 Ball spoke. Next fight, we got Alden Correa versus Luis Garul. Luis Garul is 0-2 in the UFC. He lost by 1 KO and 1 decision, unfortunately. This is what I wrote down. Alden is 1-0 in the UFC and has 1 KO from an uppercut and follow-up. He has really good takedown defense, and that can make the difference by his defense being so good and mixed with he also seems to be the better grappler too. So I'm going Alden by getting a knockdown into some sort of finish. Or into a ground and pound of some sort. Yeah, that's really it. I got Alden Correa. He's a 310 favorite, and Luis Garul's a +230 underdog, so that kind of feeds into my shit as well. Also, I'm not too familiar with these guys as well, so this is also another fight that's like, I did my research, and I'm gonna see how these guys scrap, and I'll let y'all know in the recap, basically. Let's go into the next one. We got Odie Osborne versus Alibi Idisis. I'm not too sure how to say that last name. I'm so sorry. But he's a 172 favorite. Odie Osborne's a 134 favorite. Alibi is coming off first loss in the UFC by triangle choke. I'm pretty sure he won the Ultimate Fighter, or he won 2 fights in Ultimate Fighter or something like that. But Odie Osborne's coming off a loss to Urseg. So, they're both coming off a loss. Both of them kind of need a win here. But this is what I wrote down. I'm going Alibi by either decision or finding Odie's chin. I see no other outcome, to be honest. Yeah, that's it. I think Odie's chin's a little, eh, like it's a little sus. Like he'll definitely get knocked down if he gets hit clean, especially since Alibi has decent power. But I think that Odie's defense is really good too. Like he's just too quick. His head movement's pretty decent. Really good at stepping in and out. Yeah, he could be too quick to even get caught, so it could go to a decision, maybe in Odie's favor if he just stays peppering. You know what I'm saying, all them shots just kind of out quantities Alibi here. But I just think Alibi just chins him. I just think he chins him. Um, he seems pretty dominant. Besides, his UFC debut not really going his way. He did lose by triangle, like I said. But listen, I think it's out with Odie Osborne, in with Alibi. I'm going. That's what I'm standing on it. I could be wrong. Like I said, Odie could win it by decision. Somehow, just being too quick for to even get touched up for real. Like we've seen in the past. He did. He basically fought that way against Usyk and lost by decision. So it's like it's not really that crazy. But yeah, I'm going to Libby by finding his Odie's chin. KO in some sort of part of the fight. I have no idea what specific round. Probably 2 or 3, maybe. But we go to the final prelim. We got Chidi Njo Kwani or Nyo Kwani. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm sorry. Versus Carlos Leal. Zach, or no, sorry, not Zach Reese. That's next one. Chidi is a plus 108 underdog. Carlos Leal is a minus 138 favorite. It's pretty even. Not pretty even. Slightly underdog, but slight underdog. Slight, not big. We all thought Carlos Leal was going to storm to Muslim Salikov until he got basically flatline KO'd in the first round by, I think it was literally like a jab or a cross or a hook or something. I don't know, something. But that's what I wrote down. This is going to be a guaranteed first round scrap KO or they gas out into a decision. Let's be real. Could see anything happening. Both of these guys got knockout power, and that's really all. I could see why this is the featured prelim to go into the main card. This fight's gonna be really good, but I also said, but if I had to choose, I'm going Chidi finding a knockdown into some sort of ground and pound finish. This is really a pick'em. So if you're feeling Carlos, if you're feeling Chidi, go whichever your way. But I'm personally going Chidi finding it just after the Muslim Salikov fight. What happened to Carlos Leal? No, because I don't even think that was a fluke. That's not no fluke KO. That was real. That was deserved, honestly. And I'm pretty sure there's something about Carlos Leal doing PEDs too. I'm not sure, but don't really support that, and you shouldn't either. Let's be real. But yeah, Chidi by some sort of TKO, basically. We go to the main card. We got Zach Reese versus Michael Pereira. Listen, Zach Reese is a plus 122 underdog. Michelle Pereira is a minus 156 favorite. And I don't know why. Let's be real here. Michelle Pereira has been losing a lot of his last fights. This is what I wrote down. I don't see Pereira doing anything for real unless he gets a KO somehow, because Zach Reese's chin is sus a little bit. Let's be real, just a little bit. You get touched up, you get knocked down. But I see Zach surviving the first round onslaught of Michael Pereira. And don't be surprised if we see Michael Pereira gas out at the end of the first round before it's even over. Just putting that out there. But what is it? This is what I wrote down. But I'm going with my gut. This is going to be just like Ethan Ewing versus Malcolm Wellmaker. Oh, wait. No, bruh. Fuck. I'm going to cut that out. Fuck, dude. The rest of what I wrote down. But I see Zach surviving the first round onslaught from Pereira. Then Pereira gasses out and then gets taken down and subbed. I'm going Zach Reese. Probably like second round sub. That's my decision. Zach Reese, second round sub. Cut Michael Pereira, but yes, he's entertaining. But you can only backflip your way so much in the UFC and, not really drop anybody. Yeah, let's be real. Yeah, Zach Reese, second round sub. Next fight. Jacoby Smith versus Josiah Harrell, whose nickname is the Muscle Hamster. That is just, come on, that's so dope. Jacoby Smith's a 125, barely slight favorite. Josiah is a minus 105 favorite. Might as well be a pick'em. Listen, this fight right here was added last second, I'm pretty sure, like a couple days ago. This is a fucking crazy fight. They're both 11-0, undefeated versus undefeated. We all know Jacoby Smith. He's a fucking powerhouse. Besides the fact, he took Nico Price almost to the third round. We'll get into that. But Josiah Harrell, I didn't know who this guy was for real. Sorry, I'm not into regional MMA like that. Besides, Georgia's scene. But This fight, this fight right here. Let me tell you what I wrote down. I didn't realize this matchup until now. 11-0 versus 11-0. This fight is truly hard to predict, but I'm going with my gut. This is going to be just like Ethan Ewing versus Malcolm Wellmaker. Watch. Josiah is going to spoil the show, and I only feel like this is only because Josiah and Jacob's records are all finishes except one or two for either of them, which are decision. Listen, they're both 11-0. They're both getting finishes. But Josiah actually has subs where Jacoby almost took Nico to the third round when he should have knocked him out in the first. And the UFC was really just setting him up. Keep in mind, that's the difference here, I think, too. They're both 11-0, 11-0. But I think the fact that Josiah actually has a couple subs instead of just finishes, basically. Or not finishes, like KOs or just TKOs or kicks or, I think that could be the difference here. And I think that Josiah Harrell is Ethan Ewing and Jacoby Smith is Malcolm Wellmaker. I hope this ages like fine wine, bro. I hate saying it, but I'm cooking with this right here. I'm going Josiah Harrell either by decision because they both are just like so tit for tat, and like it's like I said, Ethan Ewing Wellmaker goes to a decision. Josiah by decision. That's nothing else. That's my prediction. Josiah Harrell by decision, taking Jacoby Smith's O. This fight right here is gonna be entertaining. They better not just stand at range and feint jabs, bro. Like y'all didn't each win 11 fights to get this fight put on UFC Houston on short notice for you to stand at range. If y'all don't straight up go for the kill immediately, I'm going to be so disappointed. Or not immediately, but someone gets finished after a scrappy war, after a technical war, just something. That fight's gonna be fucking crazy. Next fight, Sergey Spivak. Jesus. Versus Ante Delija. Sergey Spivak's plus 138 underdog. Ante Delija's minus 178 favorite. I really don't care for this matchup, to be honest, but I'm going with Delija. Either somehow gets subbed or gets the KO over Spivak if this goes to a decision. If this goes to a decision, please cut Spivak. That's basically what I said. Sorry, I said that just fuck, dude. But yeah, Ante Delicia's probably just gonna get the KO here, unless Sergey Spivak somehow takes him down, holds him down, and finds like a Kimura or something. Basically, that's all it is for that fight. Like I said, I don't really care about this fight that too much, so we might as well pull out the A-ball for this one. Am I right? Will Ante Delicia get the KO in the first or second round, or is it gonna whatever that? Bro, my sources say no. The universe has spoken again. Sergey Spivak might spoil the show, bro. Set the UK back just a little bit more. But that is what it is. Next fight, we got Dan Ige versus Melquizel Acosta. Or not Acosta, Costa. This fight is gonna be good too. Obviously, Dana 100K Ige. We saw the nickname update. They raised the bonuses. That means his nickname got to change. Versus Melquizel, who is just coming off of a crazy, just if I'm not mistaken, he's on like a 5-fight win streak or something. But this is what I wrote down. Unless Dan just lets go and KOs Costa, he stands no chance. To be honest, unfortunately, I love Dan, but how the fuck you lose to Pitbull? How the fuck you lose to Pitbull? Costa is 5-0 in his last 5. He's getting subs, decisions, and a KO against Morgan Charrier or however you say it, Charrier. But dude, I wish Danny Ige would just like get a fluke overhang bonus KO of the night. We all need that for Danny Ige, bro. His career is low key going downhill. We all fuck with the Hawaiian Danny Ige, but I just think the momentum that Melquizel's coming in with is just gonna be too much. I think it's gonna go into like the third round, and I can see Melquizel just finding a finish. I don't think I can see him subbing. Honestly, no, I do. I think I see a sub. Not gonna lie, I don't see him like KOing Dan Ige. Let's be real here. I don't see him outboxing him too. So I think he's really gonna have to work the grappling. So let's go Melquizel Acosta by third round sub. Gonna be in a 6-fight win streak, and he's gonna work up the division and continue that. Next fight, we got Jeff Neal versus Uros Medic. I see why this is the co-main. That's what I wrote down. Also, what I wrote down, I said, Uros Medic only chooses the firefight. There is literally no other option. It's swung or get swung. Shout out Baby Goose. I don't think Jeff Neal thrives in the firefight. His hands are good, but he's losing to Neil Magny and Wonder Boy. And Uros Medic will just kill you or get killed. And I don't see Jeff Neal countering him to where he just like, slips and rips and just sleeps Medic. I mean, unless that happens, I just don't see Jeff Neal's head movement like that, being honest. I mean, it's probably not the worst in the world, but it's not like something that is like levels above Uros Medic, probably, in my opinion. But yeah, Uros Medic is not big, but he's a slight underdog too. So that could be some good money on that if y'all bet. Yeah, like I said, Jeff Neal lost to Neil Magny, Wonder Boy. It was a couple years ago, whatever, but he's only gotten worse since then. I don't really understand these odds. I think Uros Medic is gonna plow. He's actually gonna exploit, manipulate, and blackmail Jeff Neal. Let's just say that. Now we got the main event. I didn't even write nothing down on the composition for this. I'm gonna give you it off the top of my head. Sean Strickland versus Anthony Hernandez. Let's be real here, guys. Besides the odds, sorry, I need to open this back up actually because I need to see what I wrote down for the odds. The live odds as of Valentine's Day. Hernandez is a 310 and Strickland's a 230. Don't be surprised if the odds close closer to the fight. That tends to happen with a lot of these matchups. So they can, get some early bets on them, whatever, blah, 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 get some money flowing. But let's be real. Why the fuck is Anthony Hernandez a 320 favorite? Like, Sean Strickland is not Roman Dolidze. He's not gonna drag Anthony Hernandez is not gonna drag Sean Strickland like Roman Dolidze and make him tab. He's not gonna destroy or dominate Sean Strickland. I'm sorry, dude. I want Anthony Hernandez to win this fight. I'm just being honest. I want him to win this fight. But his striking is not good enough to figure out Sean Strickland's, like, not even just his tempo, but just like if Adesanya is not going to be able to figure out Sean Strickland just by entering his void and like breaking his defense, Anthony Hernandez isn't either. And so he's going to go to the grappling. Anthony Hernandez is going to go to the grappling. Then he's going to realize that Sean Strickland's takedown defense is really good. I could see Anthony Hernandez getting a couple takedowns, but I think I could see Sean stuffing more or sort of scrambling to get into somewhat of a better position to either stand back up or just be on top, but then doesn't really work anything because we just don't see that from Sean Strickland. He never really had to use it, but we might see that in this fight. But that's if Anthony Hernandez takes him down, which I only see him doing maybe a couple times out of this 5-round fight. And we go cardio for cardio. Let's be real here. Anthony Hernandez has pretty decent cardio, but Sean Strickland's is better. And I could see Anthony Hernandez looking rough by the end of round 4 and just in the midst of round 4 starting to slow down for real. If honestly, round 3. Just because he knows he's going to have to grapple. And that takes a lot of energy out of you, especially in a 5-round fight. This is going to be some weird game planning from Hernandez's side of things, knowing what he has to do to win this fight, but also doing it at a good pace to make sure he conserves enough energy to survive a 5-round fight with Sean Strickland. But I just don't see Sean Strickland losing this. He's not going to get outdog. I'm not going to say he's not going to outdog. No one's outdogging each other in this matchup. That's besides the point. They're not going to have the chance to outdog each other because Anthony Hernandez isn't going to be able to find out Sean Strickland's just void defense to try to enter the void or whatever, like DJ says, to either get a takedown or just clip him. I think Sean's striking is just like it's slightly better. Both of them have like pretty, not like mid, they're pretty good strikers or whatever. They're not no Izzy's or no Anderson Silvas or GSPs, you know what I'm saying? But like Sean Strickland is definitely just like MMA, you know what I mean? And Anthony Hernandez is definitely like MMA striking too. They don't like excel like in boxing or like, anything specific with the striking. But I'm just telling you, Anthony Hernandez is not going to be able to figure out Sean Strickland like he thinks he's going to be able to. He's not going to be able to plow through him. Sean Strickland is a wall. We know this. And I really do have Sean Strickland winning by decision here in Houston. I'm not going to lie. That's what's going on here. Like I said, as much as I want Anthony Hernandez to win, I just don't see it happening. And I hate that for us. We want someone else in the top and middleweight. We all want to see Chimaev versus Hernandez. Just say Hernandez gets a spectacular finish and sub Sean Strickland or KOs him or whatever, which would be crazy. But Well, anyway, let's just say that is the case, and then we get him versus Chimaev. That's really good. And then I'm pretty sure we have DDP versus Brendan Allen happening later. I think in Miami, if I'm not mistaken. It's not like confirmed or anything. It's just a bunch of rumored bullshit fights, bro. Fucking Ruben Carter just lying to everyone on Twitter, bro, just for some engagement. But let's be real here, bro. Anthony Hernandez is not going to be able to figure out Sean Strickland as easy as he thinks. He's going to tire out from trying to, to try to bring the grappling to show. He's going to slow down, and he's going to get outpaced and out quantitied with strikes by Sean Strickland, and Sean Strickland is going to win the decision. I hate to spoil your show. I hate to bring you back to reality. The dreamers can keep dreaming. Sean Strickland will bring it home. And that's all I really got to say. I'm glad I didn't have to write down anything about that fight. And I can actually just tell you what I think. Because I will talk to people at the gym, and I'm like, I don't know. I really need to think about it still. But this is it. Sean Strickland bringing it home. And that's it. Yeah. Obviously, I'll make a recap. Like I said, I got some DBX videos to make. All that shit. I'm coming next week. Coming immediately. But you guys have a good day. Good night. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to go work out, drink your water. You know what I'm saying? Don't sleep on coffee, but don't drink too much of it because you will get anxiety. Just a reminder. So if you feel like you have a lot of anxiety and you drink a lot of coffee and you haven't thought about that, there's that for you. But yeah. Anyway, like I said, happy Valentine's Day. Enjoy your day. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. If you like this video, comment. If you disagree, agree. If you have any sort of different take on the main event, comment any sort of fight on this card. Let me know. I like seeing what you guys think too. And subscribe. Thank you. Y'all take care.